Hello, fellow Virginians. I'm not going to be spending time talking trash about my opponents. I am going to be spending time talking about how they've been in office and haven't gotten anything accomplished. That's going to be different under my administration. We are not going to be politically correct, and we are not going to wait for politics to solve problems that we can address today. That's the difference. I'm about making Virginia stronger again, and they're about continuing the swampland. And we can see how that looks if you want to look at Western North Carolina, and you could look at their priorities during the same time. Well, one of the number one priorities that Merle Rutledge is going to have as his platform and also his attitude in Richmond. That is solving problems, addressing problems, and making sure I correct them as I get the job as I go along. I have an understanding that kids with disability is having a hard time getting the same access to schools and making sure that our most vulnerable in society are taken care of because they need the most help. Every American is definitely sympathetic to everything a parent or guardian goes through taking care of somebody with special needs. They do it for the love, and they make sure that they are always their advocate because they need a voice too. And today, I plan on making sure I help further that voice and make sure it echoes. I'm calling on all Virginia lawmakers to start putting teeth into legislation that allows for schools to have discriminatory practices that continue to have a pattern of making sure kids with disabilities get unfair and unequal treatment, access to education, and the resources and tools that's necessary for our kids to continue to develop because in Virginia, we don't give up. It should have been a constitutional amendment or it should have been always considered unconstitutional. And release should have automatically be granted. And there's numerous ways to get this achieved. Now you could go back into special session or you can also fight for kids with disability in the courts and say that funding, if the public schools are not able to accommodate any child with disabilities, then the public school system with those funds will make sure that they have access to education anywhere that can provide it, fully funded. This way, we are not leaving any Virginian behind. We are echoing many and many more Americans that now have a voice for the voiceless. And that name is Merle Rutledge for Virginia Governor. And I would like to thank Wendy Groom for bringing this to my attention. Jason Mieres, you know what you have to do. And Glenn Youngkin, you know what you can do. I know your job better than you know it. The sad reality is, why don't you show it? God bless you. God bless America. And always, God bless every Virginian.